Hi everybody, this is Gijs again and I hope you are doing well. Welcome to my shed. And well, this is probably a video in the series of vlogs that I've been doing recently. And today it's a very good day for me because the postman came today with something that I've been waiting on for quite some while. Now, let me explain this a little bit. Those of you who follow me already, you've probably seen my car somewhere in the video with the rooftop tent on top. Now, this is that rooftop tent. And you might also know that I use a big power station to charge my cameras, my computer, my smartphone, of course, lights sometimes even. And I charge that power station when I'm driving, of course, with my car. But when I'm staying somewhere for a longer period of time and I'm having nice weather, then I take a solar panel and I'll show you this. Let me grab the Pocket 2. There is a review on the Pocket 2 on my YouTube channel. It's a perfect small device. I use that solar panel. It is a 104 watt solar panel. It's about 1 meter high and I think about 50 centimeters wide. And that one, not at the moment of course, but that one charges with a very nice wire my Goal Zero Yeti 400 power station. And as you can see now, it is charging a small power bank. Now, this setup works for me quite neatly, but there's always one thing that I have been wishing for, and that is to put that solar panel on top of my rooftop tent so that it will charge a power bank when I'm driving by solar energy, and when I'm stationary or parking somewhere it will still be charging it, because normally I take that one in my car. Now I will show you a little bit why I cannot do it with that one, and I will have to take the parcel out of the way, put it over here. As you will see, this rooftop tent, and I've got a review on that one as well on my YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description below. As you will see, the surface of the rooftop tent, well, of course there are some holes in here, but it is like a whale, it's a humpback. It's not one flat surface. Now, on this spot, it's just not good enough to put a solar panel on it, at least not that one. It is a flexible one, it's for marine use basically, to put it on top of the cabins of a boat, for example. It works of course for campers as well, but it just did not fit onto this one. So I used a piece of plywood to put on the back of that one to make it more rigid, and that's how I carry it with me wherever I go. But now I was thinking about this this winter, and I thought maybe I should find a different solar panel. And I basically have two nice flat spots on this rooftop tent surface. That is basically this area, which is about 55 centimeters by 25. It will do well with a small 15 watt, 20 watt solar panel. But then this part, this is basically a nice square with a little shallow thingy in it, but it is not a nice flat space. And this is about 55 by 55 centimeters in square. So I went online again and I found a solar panel, and now let me get the boxes. Let's get the flat one first, and let me get a knife. Now, and let's open this one. And of course, let me get the P2 in the correct way, like so. Now, where is the opening? Let's do it in this way. Always be a little bit careful with knives. And of course there's another package in there. Let's get the cardboard box out of the way. Now what you will see, it is from Sunbeam System, and Sunbeam System is also the manufacturer of that other big panel that I'm having. I came across it because there is a shop in the Netherlands that is a dealer of Sunbeam System, and they're friendly guys. So when I ordered that one, I ordered the Goal Zero there as well. I thought, okay, let's keep the business on that way. So to find the panel that would fit on this one, I actually called Sunbeam System if it would work for my setup. But the good thing about this panel, and also on the other one, is that, and it says here, it is shadow optimized. And this is a panel in the Nordic series of Sunbeam. It's not the strongest one, so you can walk on it. Yeah, you can walk on it for a small while, but not intensely. When you put it on a deck of a ship, for example, boat, yacht. But that it is shadow optimized means that it is more for the Nordic countries, where the sun is a little bit less than in the south, for example, Europe. And that's what I want, because I travel a lot to the Nordic countries, to Sweden and to Norway. And this is a 54 watt panel. Now I'll show you this. Let me open it up. Very careful not to damage anything. Ooh. Oh, that's... No. Let's get the knife out of the way. Of course, there is a safety card with instructions. I'll leave that to the side. Now what you will see is that, and this is the other reason why I'm using these panels and also the other one, because it's got a very flat wire. And I'll show you this with the Pocket 2 in detail. There's a plus and there's a minus. And since it is so flat, and this flat wire will go through little gaps. And this is where probably the exciting part, still seeing something? Yeah. And that's probably where the exciting part is going to be, because I have to cut a hole in the rooftop tent. Now, there's even more safety instructions. Now let me get the cardboard box out of the way, and you will see immediately that, well, you look at this, the type of wiring is called a flush wire, flush mount, so that it is really flush and flat. Now what my plan is to get this exactly onto this, and as you can see, it is sort of flexible. Again, let me use the P2 to show you this a little bit more in detail. Put it over there so you can see what I'm doing. You can see that it will follow the shape of basically the little hump that is here in the rooftop tent shell, top shell. Now this is why I've chosen it to do it like this. Now let me get rid of that one. Now what my plan is that I've got this solar panel permanently on the rooftop tent. I will make a small hole in the rooftop tent here somewhere, so that the wire will go through to the inside of the rooftop tent. And now is maybe the good moment to open the second box. And let me put this one a little bit to the side, because in the second box there are even more goodies that I ordered. And maybe for you, people who follow me already for a while know this, but if this is the first time that you tune into my channel, my name is Gijs. I didn't properly introduce myself. And I'm an outdoor gear and bike reviewer, and sometimes I do tech stuff like DJI drones, for example, and in this case I'm doing this. And yes, I bought everything. I bought also the Goal Zero, that other solar panel. I bought it at full price online, because I buy my things. And when I get things from manufacturers to review, when I don't want to keep them, I always send them back. And if I want to keep it because it's really a nice, good product, then I always ask for a bill. Now, of course, there's some packaging paper. Now, to connect the solar panel to a power bank, or to my Goal Zero, or to something new that I'm also waiting on, but that's just not being made yet. Of course, I need to have some extra wiring. And now that I see this, this is quite heavy. I thought it was 6 millimeter in thickness, but I think this is, well, let me measure it. How thick is this in total? Where is my measuring device? Ah, well, here it is. This is about 14 millimeters thick, and it's not very flexible. So this is going to be a challenge. Now, what you will see is that on here there are two MC4 connectors. Let me grab the pocket tool again to show you this again in detail. These two, this is what is called a MC4 connector. Male, female, and I have got this part. This is also where two of those connectors need to go. So I ordered them. So that's where they are, and I ordered even the other one. That's what I meant, but that it's like not a very flat surface. Where's the other one? Because I did not expect these to be there. So these are the parts for the other connectors. Male, female. So when I get these attached to this, I can connect it to, well, whatever I would like it to connect to. But now the smart part. And that is, of course, this is some Sikaflex 291i in black. This is to glue the solar panel to my shell of the rooftop tent. But this is where the clever part comes in. And now I can get rid of that box as well and open up another box, because this is a MC4 to USB-C 65 watt PD output adapter. And this is really the missing link that I've been waiting on for, I think, about 2 years, because I'm having the other panel already for 2 years. This did not exist. What does this do? This enables me to connect from this side the solar panel through a sort of adapter regulator current thingy to a USB-C plug connector. So now I can use a USB-C power bank or any device that is able to be charged with a USB-C connector to connect it to this one. And that is what I think is absolutely clever, because now I can put this one on here, the cable through the shell, this one on the inside, and then when I'm driving I can charge a small power bank inside the rooftop tent. I can charge some and that power bank that will, when I'm at my destination, it will charge my iPhone, it will charge in the end my computer, it will enable me to have some really cozy lights in the rooftop tent. So this is why I've been wanting to do this all. And I'll put a full list of the parts that I'm having here in the description with the prices there and where you can buy them. But now let's get into making a hole at the right spot first and glue this one onto the solar panel, onto the rooftop tent, and then tomorrow I can continue when the glue has dried with getting everything installed in a proper way. Now let me take this one, and of course this one I did read this, and what I want to do is absolutely possible. There are some things you cannot do with a solar panel with too much curviness, for example, but this will work absolutely fine. One thing that I don't like, and this is what I'm seeing now, is that like the corners, they are sort of squarey, it's like cut with a scissor. I like this to be a little bit more neat and rounded. So let me fix this first with a small tool. And let me get my file. And maybe I should do this on a workbench. No, let me put something below it, like this. Like so. And just make it a little bit more round. One more corner to go. And this is just something that I enjoy doing a lot. I like doing DIY jobs. It's also the shit that I made my own knife in. And I'm working on a motorcycle project already for a couple of years. Now, this is, I think, nice and round. That's how it should be. Let me get that one over there so you can have a good look at what I'm doing. Now, let me take my tape measure and a little bit of tape. Where do I have some tape? Let's take some nice pinkish tape. Because, of course, we need to measure if it's going to be exactly in the middle. Okay, like so. There's can be a little bit more onto this side. And now let me have a look. 30 millimeters and almost 30, like so. 25, 25, 20, and that's 20 as well. So this is where it's going to be. Now let me get this. Let me do it like so. Like so. Yo. Also on that side. Why am I doing this? Because I want to have some tape, especially on this spot, so I know where I'm going to end up with the wire. And it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but to me this is good enough. Let me get a pen to draw on it. Now, because I put the tape also on the back, let me lift it a bit and see. All right, actually this is pretty good, because now I can lift it a little bit, put some tape over there, and take my pencil, and I can draw. And now I have to lift my glove. Oh, please stick where the curve is. It's over there. Now I know where I need to cut a hole. Let's remove this, put it to the side over here. And what I can do now is, when I take this one, where is it? I love playing in my shed. Like so. Hopla. Well, you get the idea. And then this is where the hole should go. Okay. Now the thing is, what I've been thinking about is, how am I going to make a hole in here? Normally I would say I would use a drill and drill it. But since this wire is so absolutely, I don't know even how thick it is. I think it's about 1 millimeter. So try to get in. It's about 2 millimeters in thickness. So what would work best? I think if I use a soldering tool, is that how you call it in English? If I use one of these devices, I can just make a hole in there or a slit in there, and that will fit the wire easily. So what I need to do is now get a cable and wait about 10 minutes before this one is really hot. Now, this also gave me the opportunity to get a cup of tea because it's quite cold, and the tea that I'm drinking, where is it? Lady Grey. Absolutely love it. Now, of course, the soldering device, if I didn't check if this is actually how it's called, onto a very big wire, and I think it's warm enough. Why am I doing this with warmth? Well, because I thought that if I'm going to drill this, it might crack more easy than if I use heat. Quite exciting to make on purpose a hole in a rooftop tent. Now I must say that this shell, oh, this is like a warm knife through butter. Now let me do it first a little bit. Now I must state that this shell, it's not the best shell anymore. Because when the family and I went on holiday last summer in end of July, we went to Scandinavia, to Sweden. We were on a car deck and we could get onto the boat, but when we drove off the boat by instructions of the ferry, well, we got stuck between the car deck and the ceiling. So the only thing that I could do was give a lot of gas, full throttle. Do you see this little moth? Hey, where are you? Ooh, you're beautiful. Oop. Now, so the rooftop tent was scratched from beginning to the end, and on this side there were a lot of holes, so it was not waterproof anymore. So I managed to find a sort of second, third, fourth, fifth hand replacement, and I put this one on last week, and I'm still waiting for a well, basically to get the damage settled with the ferry line, because it was not my fault and they acknowledged that they were to blame, to get a new rooftop tent, one that's not damaged. But I like this rooftop tent. We've had so many adventures with this one. Now, and actually now I'm almost through, and I'm going to take away the tape. This must work. Some people don't like the smell of burnt plastic. I don't mind. Let's get rid of the soldering device. Yes. And now you will see there is only a tiny gap that I can make waterproof without any problems. But first I need to take off the stickers. So let me grab my pencil again and write on this one, it's the plus, and this one is the minus. And let's do the same on that side. Because this is important, don't make any mistakes in this. That is quite tough material, so I need to cut this off very, very gently. And maybe in this way I can reuse it to put it on the other side again, like so. like so. Let's put them aside here onto my board. And now let's see if it is in the correct way, because of course when I want to do it really nice and flush, let me tidy this up a little bit. There is some molten plastic on top. Nice and flat. That makes it more easy if I apply the glue or the Sikaflex. Oppa. Now it is this way. Another thing that I have to do now is just slide it through the gap. And this will end up inside my rooftop tent. And now I might need to pull, because here is a little bit of a thicker spot in the wire. No, it will slide through. Nah. I think this is going to work super. Now, no wire visible, and I think you get the idea of how I want to do this. But now, of course, I can't take this off anymore. So what I need to do now is be very, very gentle and use this. Yeah, let's just do how they explained it in their instruction manual, because this is possible. Be gentle not to damage the wire, because this might be a little bit sharpish. Now let me get the glue. Sikaflex. This is something that I've used a lot in my life. I still got some nice images. I will show you this. You might like this. I hope you can see this. Sort of. And otherwise I make a detail of it. This is a picture frame with a lot of photos in it. And this is me and that's my wife. And we did build a sailing boat in the basement of the apartment where we lived in The Hague. And we built this boat with a lot of Sikaflex. The nice trick about that boat was that the basement was about twice the size of my shed now, but we managed to get all the parts in there, but we never thought about how to get the boat out. Because of this banana shape of the boat, we could not get it out through the normal door, and we had to take out a window and get it out the window into the backyard of our neighbor. So that was a mistake to make. Now, the Sikaflex, it's a sort of general purpose glue. It's water resistant. It glues a lot of stuff. And the good thing is that when you use it, it remains flexible for of course, a certain amount. And because, of course, a solar panel, it heats up during the day, it needs to be a little bit flexible. It needs to be able to adapt to the shape of the rooftop tent and to the sun. So this is what. Now I need to get one of those thingies. Get that in there. And now all you do is apply. Where is it? Why don't you want to do what I want to do? What I want you to do. Because I want you to be there. Yeah! Now apply a cross. And just for your knowledge, I already degreased the surface of the rooftop tent. Like so. Now let me get that a little bit more. And then of course on the sides, I'm not going to do the whole surface. You can glue it also with double-sided tape from 3M. At least that's what they advise. And now around this spot we do some extra, of course. And also on the inside over there. A bit more on that spot, that spot, that spot, and that spot. Now I think this will do the trick. Let me check if this one did everything correctly. Yes, I will show you a small detail on how I did the glue over here, or the Sikaflex, which is actually not glue. But now, and now we're going to have the tricky part in keeping my hands clean and turning it the other way around. Now there's one thing that I should do now. Oh, and that is to get some more of that. And now I am absolutely one hand short. Let me put the camera over there to see that. Maybe I should have asked my wife for some assistance in this case, because yeah, it will show what I want you to see. Now is the case of getting the wire down as much as I can. Yeah, that's what I mean. I absolutely hate this. It happens, but if you're not careful, you will get it everywhere. And now I need to apply some of this stuff onto there and onto the inside. Good. And a little bit on this side to make a absolute 100% waterproof seal. Because since we were out with the ferry, I know what it is to have a hole in a rooftop tent that you don't want. Now this is where it should go. Almost perfect. And now I need to open up the rooftop tent a little bit. More yucky. And the good thing about this Sikaflex is that you actually have got quite a decent amount of time to apply it. So no rush here like you have with some of those two component glues, where get the strap loose, get it a little bit open, and now I need to find the wire. Where are you? Yes, there is where you are. And now I can pull you totally flat. And this will look absolutely brilliant. Yeah. And again, there will be some Sikaflex on the inside. Adjust it a little bit to the sides. A good amount of pressure on it. So now I take this one off, and that one too. Put it in the box, because of course there is some excess of Sikaflex over here. Let's get rid of it. Now, because I left the protection film on top of the solar panel, what I can do now is get some foam. This is the nice thing about building a motorcycle. that I've got a lot of stuff lying around to help me in this case. Get that one over there. And then just get some weight on there. Maybe I should put that one over there, because this is of course where the curvy part is. Let me do that one there. And then, where did I leave it? Just put some. This needs a little bit more pressure. Let me try to work it out. Let me use some of this. A little bit more foam. Again, the good thing about steel benches, you can just use a cutting device. Put it over there, put it over there. Use it like this, and then let me clamp it like so. Do this one as well. Okay, nice. Now let's take a little bit of duct tape. That one over there. That one on that corner. Now I think this is enough for today. Now I let this sit to tomorrow, and then the glue should be dry. And then tomorrow we will finish this job. Sweet! Now, to be totally honest, I am pretty pleased with what I'm seeing, because during the night the temperature dropped to about 4 degrees. It was even minus outside, but I have a temperature measurement device in my shed, and the Sikaflex, it is not very well to apply at very low temperatures. But as far as I can see for the moment, nothing has come really loose. So keep my fingers crossed and you do the same, because now let's first get those clamps loose, and probably this is going to make some noise because most of the time one will fall off. Now apply some pressure here to get it controlled. This is one. Apply a little bit of pressure there. That's two. Put them aside. Get my wooden pieces off there. And now, yes, there's a little bit of Sikaflex residue here, but this is really nice and dry. Now, let's get the weights of it as well. And yes, this looks absolutely super. Now let me get rid of the tape, the corners. Now it's really nice following the curve of my rooftop tent. And this is what I really wanted. What I need to do now is to put a little piece of Sikaflex around the whole edge of the panel to prevent water from getting underneath it. But I'm not going to do that right now, because first I want to check if the solar panel works. So that means that I need to get the rooftop tent open a little bit, get the wire, connect the MC4 connectors to it, and then we need to move the whole rooftop tent out of the shed into the sun and check if the solar panel is actually working before I finish it. So let's lift it a little bit. Maybe it's best that I take the P2 somewhere where it will be of use again. Let me move it a little bit into a good direction, like so. Yeah. Okay, now let me lift it a bit. Where is the opening? There should be an opening somewhere. Where is the wire? There is the wire. Now, and now let's put a little bit of, oh no, there's protection on top of this, so I can do it on here. Now let me get the connector, the MC4 male and female. Now, the way how this works, it's pretty straightforward. Let me take the P2 again so I can show you this in detail. Hopsa. And maybe it's better if I put something underneath it, so that will just make it a little bit more visible for you. Just a piece of cardboard. Again, we've used this cardboard before. Now, what I will show you now is that this is the female one and this is the male one. It's a very it's an easy system. Now I need a plier. Let me take this one. And what I need to do now is, because you see the edge, this is quite flat. I need to connect this to this. And how I did this in the past was basically to use a plier with a rounded thingy on top of it. And this is a tricky part because I don't want to damage anything. So let me get a screwdriver there as well. Take that thingy and push this a little bit. Yes. Now you see that I made a little bit of a U in this, so now I can attach it to that. And now this is just for the beginning. This is how I like it. But of course I've got this special one that is for electronics as well. And now I can clamp it down a little bit more nicely. And oh, and also a little bit more tight. I can just apply a little bit more pressure with this one than with the needle plier. Now, so this was the plus one. Ah, I didn't see that. It says plus on that one as well. So this is where it goes. Put it in there, and that one will be getting into this part. You will see maybe the reflection of it. That's how it works. And now just get that one over there. And this is quite straightforward. Upsa. There is the first one. Now let me do the second one. Now with these two done, now I can start to test. So now let's get the whole rooftop tent outside. Now the rooftop tent is outside, and you will see that sun is hitting the solar panel. Here's the shade of a tree, so it's only doing half its work. I measured it already with a voltmeter, and yes, I got energy. And the cool thing is that my plan, what I wanted, it really works, because the wire, it is connected through the connectors to, at this moment, my Pocket 2. And that one is shooting this video because I left the big cameras inside. And here you can see that the battery is being charged by the solar panel. Now, this is absolutely my dream setup. Just a small solar panel that generates free energy for all my devices. So this is absolutely super. Now, back in the shed, I'm only going to do a few minor changes to what I've done before, just to finish the setup. Because you've seen the wire. The fact that it is white, I don't like this to be on the inside of mostly a dark rooftop tent. So what I have got, I took the connectors, I took them off again, because that's important in this case. Because what I have, it's this kind of material. It's used in the car industry, and you put it on basically a wire, and then you use some heat to shrink it, and then you get really nice connectors. But in this case, this is actually the size that really fits nice onto the white cable. Oh, there's still some cable left, but that's not a problem because I can do it like so. And what I have now is a second tube, and let me grab that one as well. Now this tube is really in a different size, and it fits really nice just on one part. Now just let me cut it into pieces. About this long will do, I think. Where is my scissors? Do I have a pair of scissors here? No, I've got a knife. So let me cut it and do it twice. Like so. Because now I can put this. And maybe I should try to get it a little bit more in a split. Now what I can do now is just get this in there. Oh, I made it a little bit too long, I think. Let's cut a little piece off. And this doesn't matter because this piece I can still use for maybe some other electricity thing. Now what I should remember now is that the minus and the plus, it will be hidden. So this is the minus. No, this is absolutely right. Like so. Now what I can do now is I have a blower, so like so. I use a electric blower. Where is it? I should have prepared this, but I didn't. Put that into the socket. And now when I use the blower, put it on the right heat, it's about 170 degrees. You will see that it shrinks. And now I've got a really nice connection onto the electricity connector. And now I can put this one over there. And what you will see, it's a little bit more of a tight fit now. So that should be there. And now just tie this. Make it sure it's really... And now you've got the connector, and it is protected also by this extra tubing. Now, all I have to do now is do the second one as well, but that's the same procedure. Now, I think this is a very neat way to do the wiring. The rest I'm going to do outside, so now I'm going to put the rooftop tent on my car again, because if I want to do that indoors, well, I need to get into the tent, and the table, it's not very stable. So to get the wiring nice on the inside of the rooftop tent, the best is to do this outside when it's back on my car. And the good thing is then I can use the rooftop tent again, because I miss it at the moment. Now, I am pretty happy because the rooftop tent is on my car again, so I can use it again. Now, what I did in the shed to basically final up the whole rooftop tent itself is just to get a really nice seal around the whole edge, so that no water can slip underneath it. And you know, in summertime that's not that important, because I know for sure that the hole in the shell, this is sealed perfectly. But in winter time, when there is a little bit of water underneath it and it might freeze up during the night time, it might damage the panel or maybe my shell. So that's why I sealed it very well with this Sikaflex. And now, this is the last thing that I wanted to show you on the outside of the rooftop tent. And now let's go inside, because that's where I made some really nice changes. Welcome inside my rooftop tent, and this is quite a setup, because outside there's one camera recording the sound. Then this one, it's the P2 with the wide angle lens. I hardly ever use it, but in this case it is pretty useful. And there is another GH5 to record a little bit of, well, maybe in between scenes. And of course I've got my smartphone. Now let me explain the setup inside my rooftop tent at the moment. And now I need my smartphone to shoot some details, because over here, this is where the solar panel enters the building, and it goes all the way around. This is where the MC4 connectors are, and it's connected to a Y cable that is connected to the power adapter that changes the currency to a currency that is useful for my devices. This is the connector that is basically a USB-C male, and I connected it to a USB-C female cable that is about 2 meters long, and that ends up inside the pocket that I have in my rooftop tent. And what you will see is that on the right there is of course the charging cable for my iPhone, or the camera in this case. On the left there is a cable going up, you've seen it already, that is for the lights inside my tent. So at night now I have got some cozy light. And in the middle, of course, there is the USB-C in and out cable, so it can also charge something when I don't need to charge it anymore. Now let me connect my power source again. Now there's one other cool thing that I discovered that also really works, and that is the fact that I've got these MC4 cables. They go to the power station, the Goal Zero power station that is inside my car. And this morning when the sun was, it was about 10 o'clock and it's still in the beginning of March, I measured how much watt actually enters the power station, and I measured about 31 watts. And I think that's absolutely brilliant, because with my small solar panel it only took a couple of hours, it was not totally empty, the Goal Zero of course, to charge with the solar panel my Goal Zero power station. So now I've got one solar panel that charges both my Goal Zero, a small power bank, and there is still one little gadget on its way. It's not there yet because I think it still needs to be produced, but that is something that is a bit bigger than the power bank that I'm using at the moment, but that also has a cigarette lighter socket, so I can attach a lot of other devices to it as well, and I can also charge my MacBook Pro with it, and also probably my camera equipment. So this is something that I am pretty happy about. The system that I thought might work, it actually works. Now I really hope you liked this video, and if you did, then please give it a like and leave a comment below. Also, if you've got questions, suggestions or remarks, then please use the comment section, and I'm more than happy to answer everything that you can throw at me. Now, if you really like this video, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not totally convinced yet, then please have a look at my outdoor gear favorite playlist up here and also in the description below. So you can have a look at the reviews that I do on a sort of regular basis, because that's basically what I am about, reviewing stuff. Now, and if you like what you see in those videos, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you the next time. Enjoy the outdoors and stay safe. Ciao, ciao! And one thing that I did not show you yet is the fact that not only the P2 is over there and the camera is over there, but the Goal Zero is powering the light, the LED light that I have inside this tent, because outside the sun is shining like crazy and I just needed some extra light in here as a contrast to basically my white backdrop. Bye bye!